Hello, honorable members of the clan. So, guys, let's talk about Thabo Bester, who is headed to the Constitution Hill at the Constitutional Court because he has some few things that he would like the Constitutional Court to know about. So if you remember Thabo Bester at one point when he appeared, I think 2 last appearances at the Bloemfontein High Court, he made an application. Basically, he was telling the judge that his living conditions at Kgosi Mampuru prison or maximum prison in Pretoria, they are inhumane. Number one, he cried about he's been in solitary confinement unconstitutionally. Secondly, they are refusing him access to a laptop so that he can prepare for his defense. And number three, it is very difficult for him and his lawyer to consult because attorney-client privileges are being violated, which also are part and parcel of the Constitution. And then he also goes on to say that he actually needs direct access to the Constitutional Court. Now, what made him go to the Constitutional Court is because the Bloemfontein High Court basically told him that, listen, your matter, it is not criminal, it is civil, and therefore take it to the civil court instead of the criminal court, because here we deal with criminal issues. And that ruling was delivered last month. And so Thabo Bester was like, okay, so since this is a civil matter, but also has a lot of constitutionality in it, let's go to the Constitutional Court. Now, I stand corrected. In South Africa, if you are going to go to the apex court, which is the Constitutional Court, you must have first started at a lower court, obviously a high court, because I believe that the high court also hold the jurisdiction of constitutional matters, where the Constitutional Court's jurisdiction is on constitutional matters only. So now Thabo Bester is using this as an appeal to the apex court, which is the Constitutional Court, and he is saying, please grant me direct access so that I can state my case regarding the conditions that I am under at Kgosi Mampuru prison, including my constitutional rights. And I was looking at the Constitution. You know, we got the Constitution around here. And then I was like, oh, okay, he is looking at section 35, subsection 3, and I think 3 other subsections. Let's see. He is basically looking at, okay, this is what subsection 3 says. Every accused person has a right to a fair trial, which includes the right to have adequate time and facilities to prepare a defense. Obviously, if he says he wants a laptop, that is part of the facilities that are going to assist him in preparing for his defense. And then I read a little bit further, and it says that subsection, now this is subsection 3. Okay, let's put it this way. It is section 35, subsection 3, subsection F now, which says to choose and be represented by. I think we need to debunk the word choose. That means he can choose to have a legal representative, and he can also choose not to have a legal representative. But let's continue on F. It says, be represented by a legal practitioner and to be informed of this right promptly. So I think at one point, Thabo Bester wanted to represent himself in this entire matter. And a lot of us, I myself included, I was quite impressed on his articulation of what he stood for in that court in Bloemfontein. And I thought, oh, okay, maybe this guy can actually conduct an entire defense on his own. But I would not advise that. I would advise Thabo Bester to actually get a legal representative. And I think also getting that laptop, I don't know, maybe he wants to get access to law journals and case studies that he's going to utilize in his defense. I don't know what he wants that, or maybe for notes, I don't know. But basically, those are the two those are the two subsections of 35 that I found. Probably is more. Now, if you look at these provisions of the Constitution, it's a constitutional matter. So the question is, will the Constitutional Court send him to a lower court where he can start and then fails, then come to the Constitutional Court, or the Constitutional Court will be his court of first instinct and will be granted access? From what I understand, the Constitutional Court don't play with its time. So that is why you have to apply and then also state in your application if the court has jurisdiction over the matter. By jurisdiction, we're talking the Constitution. All right. So I think it's a constitutional argument that Thabo Bester has brought because it's on Section 35 of the Constitution. But also, the high courts do also have I stand corrected. The high courts also do have jurisdiction, constitutional jurisdictions to hear this matter. Now, the question is, will the Constitutional Court say, yep, let's hear you, or it's going to send him packing back to a civil court, which is a high court in this matter because it's a constitutional matter. Now, having said all of that, Thabo Bester also says that his incarceration is unconstitutional because, from what I understand, if you are thrown in solitary confinement, it must not be more than 90 days. I stand corrected. But Thabo Bester as well, he is a escapee, right? So he is an escapee. So therefore, he might not necessarily be a prisoner that is trusted. And we must also go back to 2000. I think it was year 2000. Remember Ananias Mate, the notorious serial unaliver who went through the bars of that same prison and escaped, which I still think he did not do that. He paid somebody. Somebody was paid. There's no way. Because apparently he stripped himself down naked and then applied Vaseline all over his body so that he's easily can slide through those bars. Okay, fine. Let's say scientifically that is possible, which is kind of possible because he was pretty skinny, Ananias Mate. But now you're telling me, how then do you walk through the prison corridors and then you come across these big gates? You can't tell me that he was like Moses and says, may the sea separate. And then the sea separated. And Ananias Mate was, may the doors of prison open. And katlang. And then he walks through katlang. And then he goes through and katlang. And all through all this walk, he meets no wardens or whatever it is that they are called. No, it does not make sense to me. Somebody was paid. So I think maybe because of that history as well, they thought, hey, we cannot trust you. And therefore, they threw him in the solitary confinement. The other conditions that it cries about is that he's only given 1 hour of free time, meaning he will be taken out of the solitary confinement and then he'll have an hour to jog around, do some exercises, etc., and so on. But he doesn't get all of that. But the most thing that he's crying about is attorney-client privileges, that they are violated because as he is consulting with his lawyers, the prison guards are standing behind him. And these are the same people he's taking to court, and therefore that is conflict of interest on correctional services side. I get the argument, and I think I agree with that argument, but he continues to say that, what else does he say? Oh yeah, he does not get time to exercise and all of that stuff. I have notes. If I'm looking down, you just know that I'm right. I have my notes down. So yeah, basically, this is what Thabo Bester is going to the Constitutional Court for. And I did say this before, that at some point, I think Thabo Bester will go to Constitution Hill. It's not Constitutional Hill. It's Constitution Hill. The Constitution, what am I saying? The Constitutional Court. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just going through it, guys. Okay, let me explain something to people who are new. I have a brain that runs very, very fast. I think I was misdiagnosed somehow, and I feel like I have ADHD. So I have to race with my brain. And sometimes when I race with my brain, there's some words that I know they're sitting on my tongue, but I can't necessarily say them out. I don't know if you understand. If you don't, well, I can't help you. So, what I'm trying to say is the Constitutional Court is situated at Constitution Hill. That's what I'm trying to say. The Constitutional Hill, as some people would say. Anyways, guys, I don't know what are your thoughts about this, the latest on Thabo Bester, but let's guess what? I'll be right here and I will be having my eyes and ears on the ground and we will talk about this because this whole entire channel started when we heard the story of Thabo Bester and then it manifested into Senzo Meyiwa trial at this point. Obviously, the Senzo Meyiwa trial is returning on the 14th of April. I even forgot the date. Is it the 14th or 22nd of April? I think it's the 14th of April. Right now, it is postponed since January because the new lawyer for accused number one, which is Muzi Sibiya, needs to go and familiarize himself with Muzi Sibiya's defense. All right, so that is why we are not having the trial just yet. But I still feel like the Thabo Bester is something that we cannot throw in the back burner as well because it is in the public interest, if you know what I mean. So what are your thoughts? Those that are, of you who are lawyers, where I went wrong, please correct me. I'm trying my best here. I'm trying my level best. But other than that, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Please, guys, thank you. Accept my gratitude for the super thanks and the donations that you are making to my account. Thank you, thank you. May you be blessed abundantly. You and your generations. All right. Thank you guys so much. Every rand counts and I appreciate you. And yeah, don't leave the video without liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. And we'll see each other in my next video. Goodbye. Hello, honorable members of the clan. So, guys, let's go to the... No, not to... Okay, well, okay, let's do... Hello, honorable members of the clan. So, guys, let's talk about Thabo Bester, who is headed to the Constitutional Court on some few grounds that I am going to mention in this video. And every time... When? Okay, let's start this again. Hello, honorable members of... Oh, okay.